So today, let's find out how OpTic managed to win Masters Reykjavik 2022 against Loud. And this one is going to be on Breeze, because Breeze is actually OpTic's permaban map. They don't practice this map, but yet they were still able to win it, which I think it just goes to show kind of, you know, what kind of having a good team philosophy, kind of identity, how that will help you, and also just confidence as well, because after winning the first two maps, you could tell that they were confident. This was a completely free hit. We've actually seen this happen before to OpTic, where they lost against Gambit in the Masters Berlin final against Gambit when they were playing on Gambit's permaban. They managed to beat OpTic. So we've seen this happen before to OpTic, but this time OpTic were able to do it to Loud instead. So let's start off with round number 6, and in particular their attacking side was pretty good. But this round number 6, they're actually on a save, and it's not going to start well for them because their danger man Ye is going to die straight away to start the round. But here's the thing. OpTic's attack was pretty good because they have a distinct style. And the thing is, while sure they might not practice on this map, and sure they probably didn't have like a set execute with perfect timings that they were willing to run, they can still apply that style that they have to any map, really. And that's exactly what they're doing here, because OpTic's style is essentially to be they want to be able to very quickly pivot from, you know, faking as if you're coming to one site, going to the other, and then maybe even coming back to the other one, right? They like to be able to keep their options open, flexible, and, you know, fake a lot of times, you know, where they might be. They love to run a lot of fakes, probably more than really any team in the world. And so what they did on Breeze makes a lot of sense, is they like to take a lot of mid control. And thankfully for them, Loud were very much willing to give it up. And we'll see that in this round, because as we keep running this forward, we're going to pause in a couple seconds and just take a look at the map control, because I want you to remember, Loud are in a 5v4 here against a save. And let's take a look at this map control, because OpTic have, of course, all of where they are. And they have this B main area as well, because they have this chamber trap, so they know that no one from Loud is further than that. They have this chamber trap down here, so they know that no one from Loud is further than that. So they have pretty much all of mid, and they also have the tunnel here down mid as well, with Victor in there that you can see is there as well. So this is all of their map control in a 4v5 with worse guns. Whereas the side of Loud, if we take a look at their map control, it's essentially A site, their own spawn, and B site. That is their map control. Against worse guns on a save, this area is kind of neutral ground, where, you know, neither team really knows if anyone is there. So that's kind of a bit of a neutral. But yeah, that's pretty shocking. And this was a consistent theme of the game, is that Loud kind of weren't willing to fight in mid at all, and then would just play very sort of scared. And the problem this creates for you is, you know, they have very little information if there is anyone actually down here or down here, right? Or about to come up here, right? They've probably seen that some people there, this Viper wall's just gone up, so they know that there are people in this general vicinity. But the thing is, if you're like the chamber here, you know, you can't keep it out of mind that there could actually be someone over here as well. And so you have to kind of constantly be worrying about where these players are, because you've given up so much map control. And that's really what's going to punish them in the end, because they're going to lose a couple of these first fights. As this Viper wall goes down, we're going to see Marved. He's going to get the first kill there. We actually swapped camera just before he's about to get this kill, because he's about to get this kill here. And then at the same time, Victor is going to be able to find Sassy back here. And the thing is, how often have you seen someone die back here? But that's how passive Loud were playing. And now you're in a 3v4 and you're in real trouble, and you have to start taking risks. And Sadek does take a risk here, because he comes back to A main, but he doesn't actually know that there isn't anyone actually there. So he takes a bit of a risk there. Aspas tries to come back and fight, and thankfully he does have a better gun, so he is able to win that fight after whiffing a bit. And Sadek's going to come on the flank a bit. Yeah, as I said, he took a bit of a risk, but it did pay off, because he's able to find Victor here, and he's able to find that kill. And so with that, the spike's going to go down, but then Marved is going to see Aspas. And this is a bit of a weird situation, because obviously Aspas had just seen Marved here walking towards this way. So Les is going to, I don't know, he seems caught off guard for a bit here in terms of, you know, he didn't quite seem ready for that fight, even though it was a big possibility that it could happen. And now what's going to happen is Marved is going to go on the big flank. And look, they put this knife in the middle. It doesn't find anything there. And they have to now be worried again about short. You know, they actually ping it there. You might have just seen it. They have to be worried that Marved is still over there, but obviously we know he's not. And then we're going to see a great little bait and switch here as they just FNS and Marv play this little 2-cross angle, you can see, just constantly jiggling and threatening that the other one will be able to kill him. And yeah, they get the round win, and it's very well played by OpTic, but Loud, you know, we're a bit scared perhaps. And now let's come to the very next round, round number 7. It's going to be much of the same thing. This heavy mid presence from the side of OpTic, and the kind of fake of we could go either way. They start with these very aggressive Viper walls, right? That, hey, we're coming from mid. Now what actually just happened there is Pancada had seen 3 people here in mid. He's just taken a look there, and he's seen 3 people. So what's going to happen is OpTic are going to respond to that by putting a KO knife in here. They're going to put a Viper molly and push him off that angle. And then they're going to make this play as if, hey, this is a B hit. And they start to, you know, come in. And the thing is, again, and I mentioned this in the last round, that they have no map control Loud. They have absolutely nothing. They know where, you know, they know that there's a heavy presence in mid, but Ye is also going to be a big problem for them here in this round. And it's what I mentioned before. And then what starts to happen actually is OpTic decide, you know, oh, we don't like what's going on at B. We're going to come back here instead toward this A site. But then they also get Marv pushed up into this pushed up position, and this is the thing that they just want to do, right? And this is something that they will often do, is they'll take control of a space and they'll just leave one person or maybe 2 people sometimes in these pushed up positions, so that if they want to, they can always come back to it with someone in a very good position. And that's exactly what they do here, because as that's going on, they begin to pivot again back to the B site after going a bit quiet. You can see that Pancada is very worried and feels like, oh, maybe they're coming back to A with his rotations. And the thing is, what's going to happen here is Marv has just made a couple shots, and you can see Sassy, he's looking over here towards mid. And the thing is, though, this time they have someone in B main ready to punish that. So what's going to happen is we get 1 kill, we get the 2nd kill as well, and OpTic away in there. And the thing is, look at Pancada. He's still very worried that there could be someone up here, because they've just given up so much control of this map. It's absolutely unbelievable. And so now the B site is free. Crashies, I think, actually ulted there on the Sova. I think that was part of the, hey, we're going A fake, but they didn't really need it because they just found the 2 kills on B. Sadak is able to get this flash here, a nice little kill on Marv, and then as we run this forward maybe a bit quicker, what's going to happen is we're just going to get a couple trades back and forth for a couple kills. Ye gets a kill on Sadak there. Then we're going to get this trade of Victor for FNS. Aspas is able to get Ye as well, so we end up in a 2v1. Victor almost makes a big mistake with that jump peek there. Almost cost him his life, but then eventually Crashies, sitting in that little corner, is able to find that final kill. And again, it's just that push and pull that OpTic are the absolute masters of. And now let's come to round number 9. And again, it starts off much the same. We have a Viper Orb in here. The Sova is droning from down here. But what we need to keep our eye on is the KO. And we can probably run this a bit quicker here, because the KO is going to come towards us A site. Marv was able to find the first kill there. And all we're going to get is Victor has his ult, and he is on this A site here. He's just sitting right here. So what comes in is we get the normal default Viper wall on this A side, and they're going to run a big fake. OpTic love running fakes with KO. It works very well, because often when you see a KO ult, either people run away or, you know, people think that that's where the execute is going to be. So what happens here is we're going to get the Viper's wall go up. We get the KO coming in. He throws the knife down. We get Viper mollies. We get everything. They almost pretend to be delayed. Victor actually dies. But now let's watch that same sequence, but this time take a look at the map. Because if we take a look at the map, what we'll probably see here is that actually this whole time it was a fake. OpTic are in this position. Again, keeping themselves very flexible, right? Really, the spike could go to either side, depending probably on how this goes. Victor just found 2 kills. They probably would have just come A. But as it is, instead, Victor dies, and so they quickly make the decision with this ult, yep, the rotations are coming, we're just gonna go to B instead. And so whilst, yes, Victor does die, they're actually on the B site, really before anyone has realized what's going on. And that obviously is a big problem. And so they plant the spike down when no one knows what it is. And now Loud have another big problem, is the thing is, they have no idea where anyone is. Because literally this could have just been one person walking up with the spike and planting the spike. So they literally can only all go through their spawn. There is no other way to go, because they don't know. I mean, there could be someone waiting back here. You know, there could be someone following them. There could be anyone in mid. They have no idea where they are. They could be literally anywhere. Again, map control wise, if we took a look at it, it would probably look something like that. well, where, you know, all of OpTic could be anywhere. They really could be anywhere. As I said, they could even be coming up behind them potentially as well. So it just makes it so easy when you run these fakes to play the post punt, because there's nowhere that they can really come. And in fact, actually, Marv is going to find a kill here as we run this forward even faster. What's going to happen is you can see that these two players in mid here, they're like waiting for someone to come in mid, but no one is, because they can't, because, you know, you can't come from that way because you don't know, and it ends up with Ye cleaning them up. And as I said, they really could have been anywhere at that point. And another great fake ran by OpTic. And now let's come to round number 11. It's much the same thing to start. We get, you know, early mid control taken by the side of OpTic. Again, punishing Loud very much for never trying to really even ever fight them for it. We get this Viper wall on B. We get the Sova drone on B. And so they think it's a B, particularly when the Sova ult comes in and Crashies is able to get a kill with it as well. He's able to kill the chamber. And so what that does is Sassy tries to counter ult here from his Sova position, and Sadak is already on the rotate on this KO as well. The thing is, as we can see, OpTic are actually going to this A site because they've taken that mid control. They're actually all just running back to the A site. They managed to find this kill as well, and the A site is completely open free to them, and you can tell the side of Loud, they have no idea what's going on again, because OpTic have just confused them again. And so they start getting the spike down. They finally realize this might be an A hit, but again, they have no idea where these players are. Poor Les over here, you know, he's worried about B main still, you know, and the spike's down on A. Like, that's the problem that they had. Sadak's not going to make a smart decision here because his team is nowhere near ready to try and take this retake, but in he comes anyway on his own. And he obviously dies for it here. Victor in this little corner, and then it's just a save actually for the other players. And they're going to get hunted down as well, and that's the problem, right? That when you run these fakes and it goes well, and because Loud was so willing to give up so much map control, you know, they got punished for it. And here you go with the final kills on those last two players. But now let's come to OpTic's defensive side, and we'll come to round 16 here. And here's the thing, actually, this round we've only got 56 seconds left, but this round started much the same. You could see the map looks very similar to some of those other maps, even though it's OpTic on the defensive side, because Loud had taken some early mid control, and you can see again the same thing has happened with OpTic, where they're super pushed back and they don't want to fight in mid at all. The difference is, though, Loud weren't willing to kind of, you know, really punish them for it and go exploring in these areas, right, and maybe do some kind of weird B split like we saw OpTic do. Instead, Loud decide that they're just going to regroup and go for a somewhat fairly traditional standard A hit. Now, to be fair, OpTic don't know where they are, so, you know, this could work. It's not the worst idea, but we are going to see some mistakes coming out of Loud here a bit, because Sadak, I don't know if he thinks, you can see them just dry peeking here. You know, I don't know if he thinks like, oh, we've shown a bit of mid presence, so, you know, they won't be on A, but clearly this dry peeking doesn't work because Victor is able to just take his head off, and then they decide to commit the Viper spit. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is FNS on his Viper, because the way he played Viper was very interesting, because he'd often use this same Viper wall here, and the thing is, he wouldn't activate his Viper wall if this Viper wall from the attacking side wasn't up. You know, he just wouldn't do it. He would wait for this Viper wall to go up, and then he'd put his wall up, right? So that was the way that he was choosing to play this Viper here. And in this particular round, he's going to tuck himself in to this corner. So then we get the KO knife. That's going to just delay them a bit more. And you see here we get a bit of trader utility and just a bit of waiting there on the side, but eventually they're going to come in. The thing is, FNS puts up his wall and this drone does not spot him, so he's in this little corner. Whilst that's going on, I will just quickly mention that again, a team got punished for picking chamber. Shock horror, right? Like, you get this jet smoke on this, and yeah, he's going to come behind. It happens at least once a game, I would say, where picking chamber is going to cost you at least probably one round on the attacking side because of just that. But what's going to happen is FNS, you know, he's just able to sit here in this corner. Aspas is actually able to find Victor towards the back of the site, opening the door here. So it looks like they could have a chance, but they have no idea that FNS is here, and so he's able to get 2 kills. And Sassy is able to trade out, but then he gets traded out by Ye. And then all of a sudden Aspas is in a 1v3 because that chamber trap didn't go off and tell them that the jet was flanking. And in this 1v3, Aspas is just going to run away for his life. And I think he is going to survive the round, but eventually get killed in the kind of post-round part of it. There you go. Marv is able to get that kill and retrieve the operator. And now let's come to round 25. And yes, this game did go to overtime. I know it doesn't look that close in what I'm showing you, but Loud, their attack side was actually pretty good for the most part. And they managed to get a big comeback and turn it into 12-12. And it felt like maybe Loud can win this game. But again, we have another attack round from the side of OpTic now. And again, looks much the same, right, with this mid presence that they've got up here, and they're coming in. They actually missed the Viper Orb. This is just like small things that, you know, they haven't really practiced this map. You can kind of tell they missed the Viper Orb in this round, but it's fine, because what's going to happen is we get a drone here from the side of Loud, as you can see, and it sees how far pushed up they actually are. The thing is, it didn't quite spot Ye here, and so Ye, he has a good idea. He plays chamber himself, Pancada, so he knows the kind of things that you might want to go for, and he's able to get that kill. And then from here, the thing is, Loud have actually, you know, done something this time. They have actually pushed up tube. They send the Viper Wall towards this A site, and they send these three players here. They send the Sova Dart in, they send the KO knife in, and you can see Sadak, he's running off. You know, Les actually has the initial right idea here, but he's gonna destroy that chamber trip and then come back, and they think it's an A hit, right? Like at this point they think it's an A hit. He thinks, I've just destroyed this chamber trap. They might think I'm coming on a big flank. You know, we've got Aspas here pushed up in this position. Look at them all thinking it's A, but obviously, as we can see, it's actually a B hit, because as I said, what OpTic like to do is they like to pivot into these weird positions, and Marv already gets that kill. They're already on their way to B, and you can see that the side of Loud have absolutely no idea, because they're only just coming out, and now they're in this terrible position again where they could be anywhere. You know, you have no idea where they could be at all. And actually in this round, they are going to... Well, actually, no. Victor should punish them here, but he whiffs. He whiffs pretty bad and actually dies. But, you know, he should have been punished, but then Marv is able to get a different kill instead. And now they know that where they both are. So this one shouldn't take too long, and yeah, they are able to get the kills, and Sassy ends up in a 1v3, and he does try pretty well here. He manages to get one on Ye, but the time is too low, and eventually he's going to get double swinged here by Crashies and FNS, and OpTic win the round. And so now let's come to the round that ended it all, round number 28. And so OpTic are on the defensive side this time. They're up 14-13, so if they win this round, they win the game. You have to win by 2 rounds in overtime. And let's just start from here. So it's going to be an A-lean actually from both sides. We get Sassy droning in mid here, and he's going to be able to ping Ye. And the thing is, OpTic know, now that Loud know, that Ye is here, and they saw him with an operator, right? So they take a bit of a gamble that no team in their right mind is going to want to push Ye with an op. You know, when the game is on the line. They take that gamble. And so they actually, you can see, kind of gamble stack on this A site. Rightfully so, because they know that no one wants to go to Ye with an op. So they decide to gamble stack this A site. Actually starts okay for Loud as they see that first one. They are going to lose the first kill here from Marv from the stairs there on Sadak. The thing is, there's going to be mistakes in this round from both teams. You know, the pressure's really on, and they started to crumble a bit both sides, because Victor here makes a bad decision. He decides to flash through this wall completely on his own, right? No one is near him. No one's ready to trade this if it went bad, and Aspas is able to kill him. So Victor makes a pretty terrible mistake, and then Pancada has come up through this side as well of short here through mid, and is able to get the kill. This is why this A site is so hard to defend, because you know, people can come from a lot of different angles. Obviously, you can come through, open the door as well. I mean, potentially you can even come around here. I've talked about it many times. This A site is a nightmare to defend at times, and so FNS dies to Pancada, and we end up in this 4v3. But now Loud are just gonna make one mistake, and then that's just gonna keep compounding into more and more and more mistakes. So they know that Pancada is here, and Pancada actually is gonna go on this big flight. He's gonna come all the way around here, and as soon as Pancada made that decision, the rest of his team should know, okay, we just need to wait then, because in the meantime, you're in a 3v3, right? But if you can just wait, if you can just delay these fights as long as you possibly can, then you'll be in a 4v3 again. So, you know, that's kind of what they needed to decide. But unfortunately, they aren't going to do that. So what's going to happen is Aspas is going to take a fight. Now, the thing is, this fight on its own isn't necessarily that bad, because Les is right here, and all he has to do is come around this corner. And it's a 1-for-1 kill, and you're in a 3v2, and again the same is fine, and you know you can handle a 3v2. The thing is, he doesn't swing, around that corner. So Aspas just dies, and you can see Crashy's reaction. He's like looking around like, how am I not being traded? Like, where are you? And then the thing is, Les compounds his first mistake by making a second mistake. You know, it's that thing of, oh, I should have done this. So then he makes another mistake by now choosing to swing out. You know, he knew he should have done it on the first one, and he feels bad for it. So he tries to make up for it. He tries to make a bit of a hero play, and he costs them his life as well. So now Sassy is in a terrible position because Pancada is still ages away. And now he probably feels like, look, I have to try and get one and then hope that I can live. Because otherwise we're just going to lose. So Sassy now feels the need to swing out. Like, he's in just a tough position no matter what. I'm not blaming Sassy at all there. He's just in a terrible position. And now Pancada, it's too late, right? It's too late. He's come on this big flank and he dies. And that was how OpTic won this game. And yeah, it was a very good tournament overall. That is the end of Masters Reykjavik 2022. I'm sure many of you will agree it was a great tournament. You know, we had a lot of upsets. It was the tournament of the minor region, you might say, you know, and the death of the minor region, perhaps in some instances. But yeah, it was a really great tournament. I'm looking forward to it in the coming days. Actually, the NA Open qualifiers start pretty soon with, you know, Sentinels and 100 Thieves and all of that. So there'll still be plenty of games to analyze, don't you worry, for some of those NA teams in particular. And yeah. We'll be taking a look at that. I'll also be doing some meta reports and things like that after the tournament and looking at things like that. Meta predictions for the new Jet and Sova and the new agent as well. So lots to look forward to, but thank you all for joining me in Masters Reykjavik 2022. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did, and I will see you next time.